everybody, it is me, Brian Bond. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Bri Clogger. We are now at 1,010 subscribers. Woo! That means we picked up 900 people in the last 7 months. That's pretty amazing, you guys. And one of the reasons is we do these interviews, and today we have a really cool guy, you guys. Two words that come to mind are fun and kind with this guy. He's one of California's greatest clogging influences ever, and he's also director of one of California's most successful competitive teams, and we'll talk about that. And he's also a nationally recognized workshop instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric BICE. Woo! How you doing, Eric?
Thank you, Brian.
You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you. So are you.
Yeah, we got a couple good years left, I like to say, right?
Yeah, keep going for a bit. Yep.
Well, I'm excited. So for those of you in the audience, you may not know this. Well, you don't know this. Last week, Eric was so kind. We sat down for about 45 minutes. We had a great conversation, and then I accidentally deleted the video interview. So we're going to try it again, and I think it's going to be even better today. So Eric, one of the things I'm trying to do on my YouTube channel is preserve our clogging history in not necessarily a scripted formal way, right? Just have conversations with people that I feel like have influenced clogging in a big way. And clogging is so diverse. There's workshop clogging, there's performance clogging, there's competition clogging, right? There's a lot of different things, and they're all clogging, right? So I really like you because you kind of have a little bit in both of those worlds, but especially in California, because you know California is kind of a smaller clogging scene. So let me ask you, how did you start clogging? How long have you been clogging? All that good stuff.
I started clogging in about 1980. My parents made us do it. I have an older sister and a younger sister. We're all about 5 years apart, and my parents are both square dancers, and they saw Lucy Johnson's group do a demonstration at a square dance event, and they came home and said, we're going to do this. And so they dragged me off whether I wanted to or not. I was really young, but I ended up having a great time, and I'm glad at this point that they forced the issue. And
were you reluctant at first?
Oh, yeah.
Me too,
me too. Yeah, I was like, no. So I would bring my soccer ball with me and play around outside, and then they'd drag me back into class and stuff like that. But I got into it. It was nice. So I do have to say the percentage of females to males didn't hurt things when I was. Yeah,
the odds are in your favor for sure. That's cool. So how long ago was that?
1980. I don't even know how to do the
math. Dun.
30-something years.
Wow, well, guess what? It's 2021, so you're going on, this will be your 41st year. 41st year.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I've been doing it 38, about almost 38, which is, every time I think about it, it blows my mind.
Yeah, so, my mom still does some dancing. And
oh, really?
My other younger sister, our second generation, kind of, Shannon, as you know.
Yeah, Shannon dances. For those of you that know what Powerhouse is, my performing group that we do shows all over, Shannon does some of my school shows here in Southern California, and she's awesome. And she's also going to have a next generation clogger. She's going to have a baby pretty soon, so that's kind of exciting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Shannon still clogs, and you're still clogging. So what clogging are you currently doing right now?
I'm pretty much just keeping to my recreational dance class, but of course with COVID going on right now, everything's kind of slowed down. So we do a couple online things here and there, but not too many. We are doing a lot of dancing from the other people that are out there doing it each week. So I just haven't got on that bandwagon yet to where I'm doing it regularly.
Yeah.
But my recreational class, I teach a dance class. It's mostly all adults. Don't have too many kids in there yet.
What's it called?
Apple Creek. Apple Creek Cloggers, yeah.
And Apple Creek's been, for those of you that, you probably, I mean, if California cloggers know Apple Creek, because Apple Creek's been around for a really long time, right?
Yeah. 1984, I think, 85.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah,
and so how long have you been directing it?
I started in 1999.
Okay.
So it seems like it was just yesterday, but yeah, it's been quite a while, man.
Time flies when you're having fun. I think I've been to one of your Apple Creek classes. It was fun. My goal this year is to try to make it here and there. Like I was telling you, I did Sarah Gilroy's class last night, and I had a great time. I want to get to your class when it gets back in person.
Cool. We'd love to.
There's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We started getting a little bit of California opening stuff going on. So
yeah, it's encouraging, and hopefully everybody will get their vaccination soon. And
yeah, crossing my fingers that we can
yeah.
dance again. So you've been clogging 40 years. You're the main teacher, I don't know, director, whatever you call it, at Apple Creek. Who were some of the people in California or wherever, I guess, that really influenced your clogging, right?
Yeah, well, actually, the person who was the leader of Apple Creek, her name is Marilyn Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
She was my mentor as far as teaching and giving me all kinds of guidance on professionalism, use of the microphone, being personable up there, and actually how to do some teaching. But we lost her in 1999, which is when I got to take over the class, because I used to sub for her, and if she wasn't there, I would do her class and things. Yeah. And then sadly, I became a permanent.
But you know what? When I think about that, wouldn't she be thrilled to know that you still kept Apple Creek going all these years?
Yeah, I would hope so. Hope she's looking down on us. And
I had a few clogging experiences with Marilyn, and we chatted about them last week, because Marilyn back in the day was someone they called a couple times to do clogging stuff for movies, right?
Yep.
I can't remember the name of the movie. I just remember me and Reed Hurley and these big fake mustaches. And we had a great time. Well, do you remember what they were called? I think you said them last week.
Yeah, there was two of them that you were in. I happened to get lucky enough to be in those also. Wild Bill was one of them. And then the other one was originally called Wolverton Mountain. But when it came out, straight to DVD, by the way. It's called Hunter's Moon. Moon.
But by the way, that's no reflection of the clogging we did in the movie. We were fantastic.
No. If you get a chance to see Hunter's Moon, after we talked last week, I played it.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to see who all was in there again, because it was so long ago. And, man, that's like a 2-minute
really
scene. Yeah,
I want to see it.
Yeah, that's like one of the main scenes. All the main characters are in it, but you can see all of us. You see you jumping around in there, and I see myself and a bunch of other cloggers, Maryland included, There was
a lot of us that did it. It was fun. It was a big group.
It was a huge group. Yeah, it was fun. I didn't remember getting that much airtime, but yeah, there was a lot of it. What's
funny is, well, not funny. That's one of so California clogging, it's no reflection on the California cloggers, but the scene is smaller, right? It's sometimes struggled to grow. But we have also had a lot of opportunity because Hollywood is here.
Yep.
So, we did those movies. I've done, other TV show things like with choreography for clogging stuff. So that's been a great blessing for California cloggers, I think.
Right. I think one of the difficulties for us with kids is they got so many other options of stuff to do.
Yeah.
There's so many things, and our weather is, for the most part, great every day, so you don't have to get interfered with the weather anyway. So,
we talked about this last week too, you guys. So one of the things California is mostly recreational cloggers, right? Like workshop class, workshop dances, cueing, which I love. There's, like I said, I think there's a valuable place in our clogging history for all types of clogging. But that kind of clogging doesn't always draw the kids in. And though I feel like the time California clogging was thriving the most was when they did the competition at Servite. I don't remember the group that did it. I remember them, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Cripple Creek.
It was Cripple Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
And who was the main guy that was there?
George Rigby.
Yes. Wow. Does George still clog?
No, I don't think so. But no, they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I think some money into that competition over the years. It was a blessing that they did that for as long as they did.
It really was.
As you pointed out, it was a great opportunity for the youth, the younger dancers in this area.
I mean, at that point, your team was thriving. My studio had built up to 100 students, which, ladies and gentlemen, for a California studio, that's a lot. We had, and then Val's team broke off and did hers. Andrew's team broke off and did his. And there were a lot of young teams up and coming back then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was nice, encouraging. But yeah, I noticed that without the competition being here, it hasn't drawn a whole lot of younger folks.
That's one of my goals is to, if I'm still here in California, I want to work with SCCA and figure something out where we can get some sort of competition. I've already talked to a couple different competition things and I've got my ideas. Obviously, we're not in a place with COVID to really bust that out yet, but
right.
Hopefully down the pipe.
On the afterburners, yep.
Exactly. So one of the things Eric BICE also did was he put California on the map in terms of the first really competitive clogging team from California on a nationwide scale, right? Certainly in Clogging they were competitive, but they were also making a name for themselves nationally, and that was
Buckshot, the next generation.
Buckshot TNG. I love the name.
TNG, yeah.
By the way, there's a team now called Buckshot.
Yes. Are they from Florida?
Somewhere, yeah, back east. I saw the name just recently. I was like, what? Buckshot. It's a great name.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great name. Tell me a little bit about your team and what that was all about and how that went for you.
It was just amazing that, clogging to me is a very family-oriented event, And I was teaching some classes, at the YMCA, and I had some kids that came to the YMCA, and they were backed up by their family, by their parents, were very gung-ho about it, and they came in groups, like, Andrew and his two sisters, or three of them, and then their cousins, the two of them, Brianna and Jonathan, and then a few others. So they were all family. It's like families within the family. And so they came and they just asked, at the dance studio, they had a teacher that did a little clogging, but she's a tap dancer, and just wondered if I'd be interested. So, man, the inspiration that those kids gave me to do it, and their dedication and their heart and soul that they put into it, and the sponsorship that they got from their families, it was awesome. It was so easy just to stay committed to that. And over the years, we danced together for 10 years or so, and, from the time they were young, Andrew was 6, and I guess probably around 16 or so, is when we kind of split and went our own ways, and that was awesome. That's, as an instructor, that's one of the things that feels great, and that's why I do it, is because to be able to keep clogging going and having Andrew and his sister go and do other stuff, and Patrick, it's awesome to see it flourish and go different directions.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, who we're talking about, Andrew Babbitt, Casey Babbitt, Patrick Squires, Final Destination, basically they grew up with Eric dancing on his team Buckshot, and then it went their own way when they were teenagers, and they built. So I always feel like a team like that builds on what they've learned from you, right? Absolutely, partnering, taking the best of what they did and then adding their own element to it. And
appreciate that.
And I feel like Buckshot was what they did so well was you guys were so precise, and I feel like Final Destination ended up becoming technically the best clogging team I've ever seen, like in terms of their precision. So I feel like that's all tied together.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, they were definitely dedicated. We did. That was a tough. That's why, as you were mentioning, the recreational clogging versus the competition. It's I was very lucky to have a good balance of both while I was growing up and while I was teaching clogging when I first got started. And then our Buckshot team came along really, really early in my teaching career too. So it was really cool that we could flourish together. But it's nice to have that balance because the competition was hardcore and it was competitive, as it says. But we, with one another, not just other teams, like everyone had to earn their spot on this in each routine, and they're all dedicated and they're all hardworking. But sometimes someone just didn't get something as well as others, and you had to narrow it down a little bit. And so that's tough. That is really hard. But our kids were great, and they used that to compete with one another within the team. Yeah. And it's what they challenged one another. It was great.
Well, that's why these young cloggers are so amazing, right? Because competition is absolutely the driving force for an art form to grow. Because you get these young people and they have these amazing abilities and they just keep building on it, But they couldn't have done, Brian Steele and Bonnie Steele were talking about it with me. Without this step in clogging, this step couldn't happen. Without this step couldn't happen. Without workshop clogging, honestly, like maybe I don't think competition clogging would have turned into what it did in the 80s because, workshop clogging laid the groundwork.